decided to play J.J. Wilson at devil back, or what are some of the attributes that you saw right off the bat that made it make this essential?
You know, you're always looking for athleticism. You know, I watched J.J. at H-back, tight end. He's tough. And I used to kid him. You know, Sean Slocum and Coach Graham, you know, should be they're the ones that should take the credit, because they've always said that. They said, you know, if we were smart, we would move J.J. With me just coming in, you know, I didn't actually know, but after watching him at camp and watching him, you know, he's smooth. If you watch that interception Saturday, how smooth was that? You know, I've coached some great players, and he reminded me of Dat Wynn. Yeah, I'm not sure he's not a future NFL linebacker.
I mean, in your experience, these position changes usually pan out more than they miss.
You know, yeah, I thought about that, and I've had some big hits and I've had some big misses, and I think you have to tribute JJ. I mean, we weren't sure, you know, what his thoughts were. JJ thought he was an NFL tight end, and you know, and you have to understand, these kids come here with hopes and aspirations, and JJ's an emotional guy, and I told them, I said, before we do this, I want to talk to him. I want to sit down, and I'm gonna lay little guidelines down, because I don't have time. I told him this. I don't have time for the BS. I don't have time. I said, if you want to do it, we're all in, but it's going to be work. And he said, Coach, I'll do it. Give me a chance. And there's been moments, you know, like there's always going to be, but and he knows the best thing about it. He knows he's not where he needs to be yet, and we'll work through it, and we'll coach him, and he'll get better.
Coach, how do you account for just the improvisation or the randomness of Sam Darnold and what he brings to the table? That's how I quarterback.
You know, I told somebody, said, what are his attributes? And I said, many, multiple. I mean, he's a guy, I've played against some great quarterbacks in 40 years. And, you know, he can make every throw. He has great intelligence and awareness of the field. I watched him both against Texas and Utah. He won the game. He extended plays and made throws under pressure, under duress. You can tell that the players rally around him. He's got all the things. It's obvious to me that he's a future first pick. You know, he's big. He plays with such competitiveness. I think, with no disrespect to anybody that we played, he's the best quarterback we played.
What are the defensive keys when you're going up against somebody like that?
You know, one of the things you always talk about with that, you talk about, you know, he's going to make some plays, make them be non-counter plays. You know, no explosions for points, no fatals. You know, live another down. You know, try to make what he gains minimal instead of major, and keep him in an area of proximity. You know, try to make him uncomfortable. You know, give him some different looks. One of the things I think he does well, you know, he sees the field. It's obvious. He's, I think, Ty Helton. I'm a friend with the Helton family, so I know him and respect him a lot. Ty has done a great job coaching this guy. You know, people forget he's only a sophomore, and you know, last week their problem in South Bend was not on offense. Had that game not been turnovers and different things, that could have been a totally different game. And as coaches, we see that. So he's talented.
Bill, I asked you earlier this year, like how many tackles you guys were missing from game to game, and it's in the double digits. How many have you missed the last 2 weeks?
We've been in the single digits, yeah, much better. And you know, part of that is getting the knowledge of getting to where you're supposed to be. You know, one of the proudest things I was of last week, I don't know if you remember the play, but they come out the second half and they got in the stuff Stanford did. They got in 22, 23 personnel, tried to start running power, got a field goal, realized they couldn't do it, and came back. And so they had a little bit of momentum, and they ran a waggle boot, and it was just Chad Adams and the tight end out there. And it was their end zone, and it was just, you know, Chad just, wow, just bam. made just an open field tackle, and just those are the things I think we've improved on, getting in the position to make those plays.
How much of a steady influence has Chad been around? I mean, the rest, I mean, he doesn't have a whole lot of experience. The other guys really had none. How much of a steady influence?
You know what? He has been, from the day I got here, he has been a pleasant surprise. You know, he's almost incognito. You know, but he is smart. He is prideful. He knows his limitations. He's a guy that right now, to me personally, he's invaluable.
How crucial is it to have DJ?
I think it was fun to see him out there today. I mean, I told him, I said, if you're limping, I'm taking you out. He didn't limp a bit. I think he gives us, you know, in some of our packages that we use with him. You know, AJ's another guy that you're sitting there, you look at production, you say, wow, 44 has produced, not just Washington, not just Oregon, he produced all year.
From a player development standpoint, Coach, what is your approach? How's that, I guess, changed over your years of coaching? And this team has really seemed like it's improved throughout the year. How have you been able to apply?
Well, you know, everywhere I've ever coached, I mean, I'm a believer. I'm not one of those guys that say, hey, well, all I want is first rounders. You know, coaching is developing. You know, it's taking a player, you know, that not where he needs to be and putting him in a position that he can be successful. Tom Landry said it best. He said, great coaches take players, you know, get them to do the things they don't want to do to get where they want to get. And working hard and drills, you know, a lot of times the players don't see the necessity of that. But one thing that's fun, R.C. Slocum coached me, and one of the best things I took from him was we would do a drill. And this is back when you didn't have the access to tape. We didn't watch tape after practice. You know, you might watch 20 minutes of tape of a team. But he would make a cut up of the drills that we do. Then they'd say, all right, Phil, what drill's this? You just made a play, you know, shed drill or something. And it validated the drills that you do. I've done that everywhere I've gone. You know, I'll be watching tape, and I'll sit there, and I told Chad Saturday on the deal, I said, what drill is this? He said, sideline tackle. You know, those, and kids, all of a sudden, those drills become important to them. And I've never met a good coach. You know, I don't know how many great coaches there are, because I believe it's a player's game, but a good coach that didn't instill and validate and develop players and make them better. And I think our assistants, I mean, I look at, you know, TJ Rushing has done a great job. He's worked with Colby and what Keith has done. You know, people don't realize Christian didn't even play last year. You know, DJ has got 100% better in his coverage. And Michael Slater has done, you know, we moved people around on the front, and Sean with JJ. So I think I'm just speaking defensively. I think that, and then of course people ask me, you know, how involves Todd? I love talking football with Todd Graham. And I mean, Todd and I have been, I mean, there's no intimidation. We talk football. And we don't like, if I don't like something, I tell him. If he doesn't like something, he tells me. There's not a course, and there's never any anger. It's just, and then what's great about it, he goes, okay, do what you think's best. And that takes a man, you know, somebody who's run it. He has done a masterful job, but he knows what we're doing. And people ask me, does he get involved? No. You know, between series, who might tell me, hey, did you see that? I said, yeah, I saw it. You know, he told me something the other day about a split. It was dead on. And you know, he told me, he said, I'm going to be your consultant. I said, you got it. And he's done a great job.
Coach, every week you joke about, you know, this is a journey, this is a process, and each week it seems like your defense comes out and does something different. What else can we expect to see from them?
You know, I want to continue our rise. You know, I want to continue. We can get better. I mean, we haven't arrived by any stretch. One thing that I do know, I know our margin for error is small. They know that. And when you're playing skill like Jones and Burnett and Sam, I mean, you need to be on. We know that. and I want us to continue to grow, and that's the thing. If we're going to reach our goals of what we think we can be, we have to take another step.
Coach, this defense has been statistically leaps and bounds better than in years past. What would you credit that difference to? Is it just still playing like a chip on the shoulder?
Well, I think a couple of things. I think we're developing them, putting them in the right place. I think their knowledge, I always tell the kids, first thing, and they laugh, I said, knowledge is what? Power. When you have knowledge, you play fast, you know what you're doing, knowledge, and then all of a sudden the game, I don't think you can put a price on experience. I mean, think about Kobe and Joey the first game. I mean, these two guys, they'd never played. Chad really never played. Das never really played. I just think the game could be slowing down for them. And I think that the other thing that I do think is coaching related, I have a better feel for what they're capable of doing for us to get the offense off the field. And we try not to ask them to do things they're not capable of.
Bill, you know things are going right when your inside linebackers are getting a lot of tackles. And Christian's first in the league, and DJ's right there, and no missed tackles hardly. Can you just reflect on starting in the spring and what that was like on all the tackling drills to down with those guys?
The thing, I always go back to this, and I've said this from day one. I'm sold on these kids, these guys. They're not kids, these young men. They've done everything we've asked to do. And it does it. Hey, I felt the same way after the Tech game. I felt the same way after San Diego State. They have been guys that have bought in. Their guys, DJ and Christian, have been the cornerstone of what we're trying to do. And, Christian has come, and Christian's not openly, a guy that speaks a lot, but he's been involved. It was so fun to watch him be so excited when he got that pick Saturday. And I think you'll see more of him.
Did you guys kind of get a little jostling there on the sidelines afterwards? Everyone's around you.
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to tell you, I try to always, at some point, I'm always grinding them. I try to make fun. I know I was dancing with them after the game. I'm glad there were no videos. Though I probably danced better than most of them.
Coach, you mentioned weeks and weeks ago about Christian Sam and being not a youthful, and if he could just play to his potential. Are you confident in saying that he's there? Or
No, he's not there. He knows he's not there. He can get better. Late in the game, we put our twos in, gave up a touchdown. I kept Christian in the game, and he went relaxing on me. He knows it. Sort of. He wanted to get up, and I made a mistake. I should have got him out of the game. That was my fault. I believe if I'd put all our twos in there, they wouldn't have scored. So. I think we work at it every day. We go offense, defense against our guys, tackling. We emphasize it in practice. We do a drill called thud, that's not take to the ground, but thud is wrapping up. And if you see that, I think you see, there was a play, some things just really excite you. And some things, there was a play about the third quarter that they ran a zone, and their back had 150 yards against USC. And that back came through, and it looked like he was going to, and then you saw 2, and you saw 3, and he literally hit a brick wall. I don't know if you remember that play. Do you remember it? He hit him, and he took 2 steps, and it was like he hit a cement. And they picked him up and dumped him. I'm thinking, wow. Yeah. Keith Patterson, every day. I watch their tackle drill. It's real now. And that's, they're drills that help us in the game, and I think that's part of it. And getting there, knowing the defense, getting in position. It's easier when you're, early in the year we were glancing. I remember playing San Diego State. We glanced, missed 2 tackles because we weren't quite in position. And when we get in position, we have success. There are multiple. They're multiple. They're talented. I mean, I'm telling you, they haven't offensively hadn't been the issue. They couldn't get the ball back Saturday. I mean, and they're good. I mean, both sides. They had some issues on defense. Kids hurt, but Notre Dame really ran the ball, kept the ball away, almost 400 yards rushing. But and which quite honestly put their offense off rhythm.
The defense had a lot of fire at the beginning of the season for struggling to execute. How much has that been a motivating factor for the team moving forward?
You know, I think it's a huge motivating factor. You know, just once you've started making improvement. But I always tell the guys, listen, if you don't prepare yourself, I mean, just go back and look at this year, the New England Patriots. Anybody that watched them against the Kansas City Chiefs that night, I mean, they were horrendous. You know, Bill Belichick never batted an eye. He just stayed the course and said that we got to get better. And, you know, I'm telling you, I think Todd has done a masterful job of keeping everybody level on both sides of the ball and directing what we're trying to do.